Hey Nash, what should we make?
Let's make birria again and turn it into a few fusion dishes.
All right, let's make some birria. Welcome back to Chaos Kitchen, where we like to make things that we can then make into other things. We've made birria before, but it was a long time ago, and all we did was just make it into tacos, which is pretty standard. So I figured it's time to revisit it, make it better, and then do a whole bunch of other cool stuff with it. So that's what we're gonna do today, and we're gonna turn it into tacos. The next few videos will be us turning that same birria into other stuff. In case I'm mispronouncing the word birria, I'm trying to roll my R's and be correct, but I don't know. I tried my best. So without further ado, let's go. So we start by making our sauce. Braising liquid? Whatever. Anyways, we need somewhere around 10 to 12 guajillo chilies. You buy these dried at the store, or if you can't find them at the store, order them on Amazon. So we're gonna just cut the tops off of these guys. Most recipes will call for you to de-seed them. And if you want to do that, you just cut the top off and then you shake it out. If you want to split it, you can. Make sure and get all the seeds out. We're not going to do that because I want the seeds. Because the seeds are where the heat is, so.
If you can't stand the heat, then don't eat my meat. I would say grow some balls, but they cut mine off and I still love the heat.
Yeah, I understand. But, you know, we don't judge here. So if you don't want the heat, take out the seeds. Now we want a few ancho chilies. These are just poblanos or pasillas that have been dried. So same thing goes. If you want to remove the seeds, go for it. But all of the heat is actually going to be in the next pepper we get to. So you want like 3 to 5 of these, but you know, whatever. And if there is no stem, then just leave it, you know? It's cool. It'll be fine. Then we want 3 to 6 chiles de árbol. This is where the heat is. The other 2 are more for flavor. This is where the heat is, so if you want to tone down the heat, these are the ones you want to remove the seeds from. We're not going to do that. And honestly, I don't actually see any seeds in these, so there we go. So there's all our peppers. Set that aside. Then we want to prep the rest of our vegetables. So we take a few Roma tomatoes. We're just going to quarter these guys. And then we want to go ahead and take an onion, quarter that. And then we want about half a dozen garlic cloves. Just leave the skin on. Put that all in a pan like that. Then drizzle or spray these with a little bit of oil, a little bit of kosher salt, and just a little bit of pepper. Season in layers, folks. That's what we're doing. Then into a pan on medium heat, we throw in our peppers, about a teaspoon of black peppercorns, and a stick of cinnamon. Maybe we should break this in half. Or pieces, whatever. Good enough. Just by toasting these, it's just gonna bring out the flavor. So you don't need any oil or anything. It's a dry pan. We just wanna kind of toast these around a little bit. And what we're doing here is kind of gonna be like a cheat code birria. It's fairly traditional, but probably not ultra traditional. So I'm not claiming this is, you know, some super traditional birria recipe. I'm sorry, I keep trying to roll the R's. I'm trying, folks, I'm trying. So we just get this toasted. There might be a little bit of snap, crackle, pop. Don't be scared. Then once that's toasted, then we add just enough water to cover our peppers. So that was 4 cups. And now we just want to rehydrate all of our dried peppers. So like this guy, I'm just gonna turn him over. And normally I would probably just do this with the peppers and not the spices, but it seemed like a pain in the ass to remove the spices. So the peppercorns and the cinnamon are going to get rehydrated as well. Oh well. Once you've reached a simmer, we turn down the heat, put a lid on this guy, and we just let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we take our veggies that we've oiled and seasoned, and we throw these under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes until they have a nice char. All right, so then we got these guys right here. So I went ahead and cut the roots off of the onions. Then we're gonna go ahead and peel the skins off of the garlic. And then we set this aside. Then we bring out a blender bottle of some sort and we add all of our roasted elements. If you have a real blender, you might have more room. I don't know if we're gonna have enough room. I honestly don't think we will. So then we put in our peppers and about a cup of that juice. Then we put this top on. Then we go ahead and blend this. Then we pour it into some sort of a vessel. Then we take this, no need to clean it, and we put in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of oregano, Mexican oregano if you have it, a half a teaspoon of ground cloves, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of dry, if you have it, or minced or grated ginger. Then we add 2 cups of beef broth. Then we put our top back on here, and then we blend that. Then we take this off and add it to the rest of our stuff. Then we want to get out about 4 pounds of chuck roast. Let's get rid of that beef diaper there. Then we want to cut this into about 3-inch cubes or some reasonable facsimile thereof. Then we take these guys out. That's what we got. And then we just want to hit these guys on all sides with some kosher salt, some black pepper, and some garlic. Then in a rip-roaring pan, super high heat, we're just gonna go ahead and throw our guys in here. And we're not looking to cook them, we're just looking to sear them. Get a little bit of brown, get a little bit of flavor. You might have to go in batches. I don't know, we're about to find out. We can make it work. And we're just looking for a little bit of color. So that's what we're looking for right there. So then we just wanna make sure and hit your guys on all sides with a little bit of color. And once you have color on all sides, then we just go ahead and pull this off. And then into our slow cooker, we go ahead and add all our meat. And then we pour our sauce all over the top. This sauce is pretty thick, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab these guys and move them around a little bit. Allow that sauce to sort of penetrate all the nooks and crannies of our meat. Let me go ahead and put a lid on this guy. And depending on how much time you have, we cook this guy on high for 4 to 6 hours, or my choice would be on low for 8 to 10. But either way, we just let this guy go. It was a little work up front, but now just let the crock pot do the work. After our meat's been braising away in this liquid for about 9 hours, then we just go ahead and just give it a stir, make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom or anything like that. Then we can kill the heat and let this cool down a little bit before we try to handle it. And once our meat has cooled enough to handle, look at that. Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere, folks. Look at this. This is going to be the most amazing sauce ever. But before we do that, we have to go ahead and remove all the beef. And if it's falling apart, then you did something right. And then we could take a knife and fine chop this, or we could be more artisanal and just use 2 forks and shred the out of this thing. It doesn't take much because this meat is, I don't want to say mush because that sounds bad. There's nothing bad about this. But this meat is so freaking tender that it's just gonna come apart with very, very little effort. Whoop, we got a spill. We got a few spills. So then once your meat is nice and chopped or shredded, just go ahead and take whatever sauce came with it. Just sort of stir that in, get that all incorporated. We want to achieve a homogeneity. I know it's homogeny. Not all my jokes like.
You're an idiot.
Yes, that is factually true. We have our shredded birria meat all soaked in sauce, and we've successfully sprayed random little birria driplets all over our surface and probably our whole kitchen, maybe the floor. Nash is in the background, just, you know, doling out death and destruction to some random toy. But then we wash our filthy forks. For our cheese, we're going to grate some mozzarella and some Monterey Jack. And then we take our sauce, I guess that's the right word, and we're gonna strain this. And make sure while you're doing it, you pour nice and aggressively so it spills all over your stove, because that's the way to do it. We're just trying to remove all of the solids, all the particulates. Then once you've strained all the liquid out, take whatever solids you have left, add it to your meat. And then you have your strained, beautiful, so you can go one step further and go ahead and take, hold on, I have one sitting around here somewhere. You could take some sort of a fat separator like this. Basically, you pour everything in here. The fat rises to the top because it's lighter than liquid. And then you press the button, boop, 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 and it lets out the liquid, and then you just stop before it gets to the fat. So you could separate the two if you want, or you could just stop here, and that's what we're gonna do, because I want the fat, because we're gonna use this to cook some stuff, make some delicious stuff. So there we go. There you have your Birria consommé sauce, or whatever the hell it's called. So the ultra traditional way that birria was served was as a stew. So you take the consommé, you take some beef, you throw it in a bowl, and you eat it. But modern times have clearly changed, and the popular way to serve or eat birria is in taco form. This video was really all about making the birria. We've already done that, but you know, just because, we'll go ahead and make some tacos. So we have our griddle. First thing we're gonna do is go ahead and, all you have is oil, that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and melt some Wagyu beef tallow on here. It's gonna make it delicious. Obviously my griddle is not super even, so we're just making up for it by spreading this out. Then we take one of our tortillas here and we soak it in our consommé, get all the liquid off. And this is why I left the fat in here, because this is gonna help this cook. Then we're gonna take a handful of our cheese and put that on there. And our cheese is looking a little bit bigger than our tortilla, so we're just gonna go ahead and push this in. Yeah, you've gotta push it.
Push it real good.
Turn our heat up a little bit. Again, push this guy back in, make him a little smaller because it's too big.
That's what she said.
Put that on top of there. I guess this is technically a queso birria taco. I think I put too much oil on. That's okay. We'll make it work. We can just take all this and sort of put it on there. And then we put some more meat on there, generous portion. And then if you wanted, you could chop up some onions and some cilantro. That would probably make a lot of sense here. And there we go, there's your queso birria taco. So we pull this and we set it aside. And there we have our birria plus the birria taco. And it's time for a bite. See what we're working with here. Oh, yeah, it's hot. Hot, hot, hot. It's all for you guys. Burning myself. Cheers. It's a birria taco. It's nothing special, but it is amazing. It's crispy. It's got a ton of flavor. It just punches you in the face with the spicy, the savory, and that ooey gooey cheese. And you saw the cheese pull, nice little cheese pull. So yeah, the taco wasn't quite the point of the video. The point of the video was the actual birria because we're gonna make it into some other stuff in the next few videos. So tune in for that. But this birria turned out amazing. And it makes your standard queso birria tacos really, really good. Out of 10. And hey, that's what I think. But let's see what Nash thinks. Hey bud, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I was just thinking about that Ring Camera Super Bowl commercial and how they're exploiting people's love for their dogs so they can spy on us more than they already are. I also will never understand dogs that run away because this is where all the couches, beds, and food are. Why would I want to leave?
Well, check it out. We made the birria you wanted. And so we made some queso birria tacos. And of course, we made a dog-friendly version just for you. Well, here you go. What do you think?
Oh, wow, that's delicious. It's rich, beefy, and cheesy, all wrapped up in a little taco. I'll take a dozen more, please.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Sometimes you have to say goodbye to the things you know and hello to the things you don't.
Nash approves, I approve. Look, it turned out delicious, and I'm really excited to see how you guys like the dishes we have planned for this. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate you all. Love you all. If you wouldn't mind taking a second, go like, share, subscribe, hype, hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. If there's anything you want me to make, you want me and Nash to taste, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. And hey, if you like this video, go check out some of our other videos somewhere around here. And just remember, cook more, eat better, embrace the chaos. That's it for now, folks. Until next time, be good and peace.